Alright, it's your buddy, Mike Messier. So the next thing I want to talk about, get the phone up there on the apparatus, is sharing. Sharing. Now, back when we were children, or whatever the fuck, for the most part, people think of sharing as sharing. Like, hey, share. You know, usually a parent or a teacher would tell children to share a bunch of stuff, usually toys or food. And the kids learn the good lesson of you can't have it all for yourself, you have to share. Whatever is there, you know, whether it's a pizza or a plate of SpaghettiOs, share it with your brethren and your sisterin. Now, share is a different thing, where it's not divide this quantitative amount of stuff, whether it's SpaghettiOs or toys or blocks, amongst yourselves to take this, you know, amount and make it smaller so each part of the group, as far as the people, has a little piece of it. Now sharing really means multiply. Sharing's gone from dividing this quantitative amount of stuff, whether it's a toy or SpaghettiOs, just in this example. Now sharing means take this information, which is, let's just guess, so I'm getting to the point of social media sharing is what we're going to. In this social media day and age, now it's take this fucking information, usually some crowdfunding or crowdsourcing or whatever you want to call it, or some give me money for my project thing, or this charity, or share this information, or this political slant. Share it, please. Which means take what I'm telling you and tell the world, or tell your little section of the world. And then if your little section of the world, if every one of those assholes tells all their assholes, and suddenly all the assholes know what I'm thinking. Please share. And I've done it. I always do the share at will thing. Please, I've done share at will. I've shared. I've asked for shares. I've shared. You know, I've been mad when people didn't share. I've been happy when they did share. You know, I have people that share my stuff, you know, in the social media world, and I'm happy, and I thank them, and we all share and share alike. But there's a thing, it's just another duality thing where, yeah, there is a good thing about sharing. It's a positive thing for the most part. But in this day and age, just to be honest, you know, which I'm always honest with you, because I put up no false pretense and I create no character because I'm transparent. Watch that video. Is the sharing, to me, nowadays people, including myself, I'm part of the problem like everybody else. We have a thing with sharing, which is I'm expecting something to come out of this. I'm going to share this information. I want you to share it, and if you don't share it, I'm going to be pissed or hurt. That's even worse. I'm going to be hurt. You didn't share. Why didn't you share? So sharing now has an expectation to the sharing. It's not because people genuinely want to share, mostly talking the social media thing. It's not that they genuinely want to share or feel motivated to share the information or the fucking website or the fucking crowdfunding or whatever the fuck. It's they feel that if they don't share it, someone's going to be mad at them. Mommy's going to be mad. Daddy's going to be mad. Big brother's going to be mad. So sharing as an expectation, to me, is not fair. It's okay, we all do it. I'm not saying that there's going to be any great social march on Washington to stop sharing all of a sudden, but it's just, to me, it's a pain in the ass. Now, that's a social media thing. How about other elements of sharing? In a way, fucking thing going on? My battery went out, for crying out loud. All right, I'm going to charge this fucking thing. Oh, God's sake. Can you see me at least? God. The other thing is, I just want the flash on my camera so you can see me properly. Jiminy, fuck. Come on. The other thing with sharing is I just feel that a lot of times I just want my own stuff. Now, my own family, you might say, oh, you're an only child, and this lady's giving me the fucking stink eye in her fucking shopping cart. But the thing is, whether I'm an only child or not, I just didn't particularly enjoy sharing stuff. Because I was in a situation where the sharing was just not, mathematically didn't work. Let's put it that way, okay? So for me, sharing was not something I was particularly good at or particularly enjoyed. And I always seem to get the short end of the fucking stick in the sharing situations. Now then, a lot of times, and you can go with the joke world about it and say, I mean, if we're going to do comedy, we'll do a little comedy and just say, look, sometimes you go out, women like to share a lot of stuff, desserts. I'm not a guy, and I'll do a little self-effacing humor. That's a donkey trick I can do. But I'm not a guy that particularly wants to share a dessert. I mean, it makes you feel kind of cool with a woman if you're sharing with 2 forks and you feel all intimate. But there's a level of bullshit to that, too. There's a level of both parties really want their own dessert. Sharing pizza, I mean, if we're going to split hairs about it, I don't know if I really enjoy, because ultimately what happens is people don't agree on the toppings, or someone succumbs to the other person's wish. But as I've gotten older and more experienced, I like to tell the people to cook the pizza a minute longer. 1 minute longer at Domino's, please. Cook my pizza exactly 1 minute extra than most of the plebeians, because then I know I get a nice crispy crust. When I go into non-Domino's, I will say a well-done pizza, or I'll say, can you cook it just a little bit longer? Don't burn that sucker. But toppings, like if someone, I don't like to eat meat now, okay? I'll admit to it. I don't want to eat the goddamn meat. So if I say, hey, I want green peppers and onions, and my friend says, well, I'd like pepperoni and sausage, let's just split one. I don't want your fucking meat-based cow topping intermingling with my fresh vegetable topping, okay? So, just order 2 smalls or 2 mediums. What else can you say about sharing? The thing that I like about restaurants, to give restaurants, I'm not sure if bill situations have changed, but I've noticed in the last 5 or 6 years especially, maybe even 10 years, that restaurants have become a lot better about splitting the goddamn bill. If you know what I'm talking about, it wasn't much more than 10 years ago where if you asked certain restaurants, hey, can we split the bill, they get all hot and bothered. Like, they always had a fucking issue with that. And there's certain members of my family that if I went out with these certain people in my family, they would always have a piss-ass contest about splitting the bill. It'd always be this uncomfortable fucking scenario. Now, it's not like that anymore, because restaurants, for whatever the fuck reason, I don't know if it's an updated credit card system or bill system or whatever the fuck, but 9 times out of 10, even if you fail to mention it when you come in, you can split the bill. Now, I'll say this. If you ever go out with a very large party, like say, oh, some people from work or some people from this festival, we're all going to go out. Make sure the best move, really, is to show up about 20 minutes late and then ask for your own bill. It's a smart move. Because first of all, the first 20 minutes is all glab-handing and bullshit. It's all crap. You show up 20 minutes late, and then you are a welcome surprise. You're not the fucking asshole that was there all night. You are a reprieve from the assholes that were there all night. So my advice to you, kindred spirit, is if you're going out on the town with some fucking people, you're meeting a big group, and they're, oh, we're meeting at 7, be there at 7, show up at 7:30 or 7:45. Show up a little bit late, have a little bit of something in your belly beforehand so you're not dependent on the situation, and ask privately the waitron for your own bill. Always remember that. And furthermore, don't feel as if you have to sign on for the communal bill thing. A lot of people, they go out and they have some fucking thing worked out, and just be careful. That's all I'm going to say to the single fellas and ladies. Always get your own bill and talk directly to the waiter or waitress who's helping you. just say that you've got to pay a certain way. Say you've got credit card points, or you have a certain budget, or whatever the fuck. What else can I talk about sharing? So there's a lot of sharings. There's sharing of the bill, there's sharing of information, there's sharing of social media bullshit. But I guess my point is, sharing, I don't want to question everything, but I might. I just don't like sharing. I just find that it's always something that reduces. I mean, like, at its core, sharing means less for me. You know what I mean? And maybe this is very selfish thinking, but at the end of the day, it's just more shit that I get to have, you know? So at the core of it, I'm a fucking selfish asshole, and so are you. But people who just love to fucking share, they like to share. I guess, okay, here's the other thing. Oversharing. What does that mean? What does that entail, as it were? Basically, oversharing is, you know, when people tell you their private stuff, their life stuff, their informational life, and they just tell you too much crazy shit. And, like, people just tell you some crazy shit these days about the abuse they've suffered, or the fucking shit they've been through, or the people that hate them, or the people they hate, or their physical body ailments. And you're just sitting there like, do I have to listen to this? Apparently. So my point is, I'm laughing out of pain and empathy for the human condition, by the way. Not because I think this is all funny. But oversharing, you know, how you do it? Well, do you really want to know? No. So just oversharing is just something that's equally as bad. What else? A lot of fucking things in the world that I don't like. But sharing's a word I hate. Actually, the word share, it actually sounds kind of cool. Like, it's got a nice, soft, kind of Sesame Street fucking modality to it. Share. It's so soft and pleasant. But if you really think about it, it sounds better than it is. Like the word share sounds nice and pleasant and soft and like a pillow on your mouth. Share. Okay. Or even the rock star Cher, the rock star. What they call her now? But it's not 1978. But fucking the rock star Cher. But the thing is, the actual act of sharing, I don't like. The word share is okay. In fact, now I'm thinking about Cher, Moonstruck, all types of things. Great actress. But the actual principle, the practice of sharing, and how it's been maligned and misused, I'm opposed. Mike